Right, so the false economy of movies is something I've discussed here quite often actually on the channel. You know, Hollywood accounting, how they make money, how unprofitable movies have been for quite some time, and how you can basically make, $616 million at the box office, and you've only made $100 million profit. And not all of that was from, not much of it was actually from the box office. It is mental. The Hollywood industry and the whole structure of it is kind of insane. I don't think that's an out there statement to make. It is kind of insane. And so now we're learning, supposedly, take it with a pinch of salt, how Superman made $100 million profit. And no, a lot of it was not from the box office. They're like, it's a massive $100 million profit. Look, $100 million is great. You know, even if you want to give me $2, I'd be happy with that. Link down below to my Patreon. You can get some benefits there. Genuinely, there is a link. Do go check it out. $100 million would be amazing. You can subscribe for just $2 a month. But it's not exactly superb, right? You know, $616 million box office, and it's only $100 million profit, and it's not entirely from ticket sales. That's not awesome. It's not awesome. You know, these budgets are mad. The budget for Superman wasn't exactly incredibly high. Although that's kind of, you know, we still don't really know what the budget actually was. It's all kind of cloak and dagger type deal, smoke screening, you know, all that nonsense. But $100 million, it's not brilliant. It's not brilliant. So I thought we'd take a look at this because, again, like I talk about this quite often. I love doing my Sunday, box office reports just to kind of see what the box office is doing, taking a look at the industry. It's very interesting stuff for me, I think. And you guys seem to find it interesting as well. But here we have this. James Gunn's Superman arrived earlier this year to great reviews and a respectable box office haul. DC Studios' first feature is... I'm just reading the article. This is not an endorsement of what they're saying. Their first feature is often labelled as a massive success for Warner Brothers Discovery. And in November, for example, Forbes published a report stating that the film made $100 million in profit and would end up making $150 million by the year end's time. So they were also forward projecting how much it would make money-wise. So Superman made $616 million worldwide during its theatrical run. It was a good amount, but with a reported $225 million budget. These budgets are insane. Not including marketing, another report put it at over $300 million, which James Gunn debunked. He's going to, okay. The film's initial haul didn't seem enough to reach that $100 million profit milestone. So as such, it was clear the project's success had largely stemmed from ancillary markets. Because if you're doing $225 million, just production budget, reported, because we don't know, that is, if there's no tax incentives, which we don't really know where, we don't know if this had tax incentives, we don't know. But that is $450 million to break even, right? It's fair to suggest it had $100 million marketing. This film was everywhere. That's fair, because that's kind of the going rate for a blockbuster movie. What's considered a blockbuster, right? $100 million, which to me is insane. And I've spoken about how Hollywood could fix this. Just do direct-to-consumer marketing. You've all got YouTube channels. Your videos go out there anyway, but you still pay for it to go everywhere as well. It's insane. You've all got your own streaming platforms now. Play the trailer before any of your movies or TV shows that you release. There's so many different ways which wouldn't cost you any money. You are being roasted and rinsed by marketing studios, Hollywood studios. Anyway, so $616 million worldwide. When you're looking at $100 million marketing, it made no money. The ticket sales element doesn't really seem to factor into this at all. Because even if it had $50 million for its marketing budget, right? Even if it had $50 million, that's not likely, but let's just say it did. Let's just say it did. Okay? That's what? $550 million to break even? Or, I don't know, yeah, something along those lines. 525 million to break even. This kind of money, yeah, nah, it's not. Nah, you're not really seeing it. I don't think, because 50% studios take roughly 50% from the theatres, the theatre cut. That's unlikely. So it's all those secondary revenue streams and third revenue streams. So Bloomberg published this and said Netflix has a huge opportunity with the DC Studios superheroes. And they say a profile focused on DC Studios co-CEOs James Gunn and Peter Safran. A major part of the piece was the duo's successful start at the company, largely stemming from Superman's previously cited $100 million profit. The outlet proceeded to list the exact market that allowed the David Corenswet-led film to reach said figure. Its profit came from a combination of three pivotal branches. Ticket sales, unlikely. Online rentals, okay. And merchandise, toys. And other stuff, licensing deals. Now, this would have been higher if studios hadn't made their own streaming platforms, but they've cannibalized their own success. Idiots. Whatever. So as this article notes, such markets guiding the movie into the realm of profitability isn't surprising. Well, it kind of is, actually. It kind of is. If you're relying on toy sales for your movie to be successful, then you've got a problem. Your movie should be successful in its actual market. Right? It's a movie. So it should be successful and profitable as a movie. And then a toy needs to be profitable as a toy. Right? Otherwise it's a false economy. If your movie is successful only because of toys, then it's not a successful movie. It's just not. Can you imagine selling a cookie, right? But it only goes into profit not because of the ingredients and the profit margins of making the cookie itself, but it went into profit because of the wrapper. Or it went into profit because you sell cutlery that goes with your cookie. This is mental. It's mental. Merchandise should be an additional bump, not pretty much the only bump. It's insane. Actually insane. But okay. And as they say, merchandising has historically been a pivotal source of post-theatrical revenue for superhero films. Superman was a prime example of that. The film was, and for the most part, continues to be everywhere. Food products, clothing, kitchen items, toys and collectibles. It hit every possible market. The film has also been widely recognised as a success on video on demand. As an example, it was revealed that the project was on Google TV's top 3 movies of 2025 alongside Sinners. Given those aspects, it makes sense that Superman was able to turn in such a large profit. Regarding the studio's success, co-CEO Peter Safran told Bloomberg he and Gunn had only scratched the surface in their efforts to turn the DC brand into a crown jewel for Warner Brothers. When we took the job, obviously the goal was to turn DC into the crown jewel that we knew it deserved to be. We've only literally started scratching the surface. I mean, it's mental though. Mad. Actually mad. Insane. Apparently it's an under-monetized franchise. I agree. But still, the fact that your movie is successful because of merchandise and rentals is not like a lot of movies make or break, on rentals. That's still the product itself, right? But the fact that merchandise comes into it, that's bad. If you need merchandise to save your film, it's a bad film in terms of it as a business. Like it's a false economy. Anyway, I just thought this was interesting. Leave your thoughts down below.